So, the news today tells me that Australia has canceled Novak Djokovic's visa for a second time. Apparently, their dude has used his special powers to do so, and that cancels Novak's visa for 3 years. So, if this stands, Novak Djokovic would not be able to enter Australia, play in any tournaments or any of that shit for 3 years, which would pretty much mean he's never going to win the Australian Open again. I mean, yes, people can be old and win, but you're taking away his chances at the Grand Slam that is known as the Australian Open for 3 years. Here's the deal. Australia, I mean, we don't pay attention to Australia. I paid attention to Australia because of the Australian Open, because of Australian tennis players, because of Australian music people. You send your actors over here and then they stay here. I mean, some of them go back, but when you send your guys here, and I've never understood this because you've sent quite a few people over to these shores who end up dead from accidental overdose or accidental suicide. And you've had very famous people who just, I don't know, sending them over here and making them super famous kills them. So I thought, I don't know why Australia sends them over here. So thinking about all this, I say to myself, wouldn't it be best if Australia just became a closed continent? Just Australia for Australia, by Australia, just never allow any tourism, never allow any outsiders, just Australia all the time, only for Australians, no trade, no nothing, just be Australia and stay there by yourselves and just be completely cut off from all of our horrible outside influence and our disgustingness and our germs and things like that. So you just be all by your lonesome, all happy just being Australian and not having the disgusting others come and disrupt your life. I think that would be best. We've got other sports to watch. We have other things to do. If you want Hugh Jackman back, I'm perfectly willing to send him back right away. We don't need him. He's probably actually British. So is he one of the countless people who were actually born here or in England? Like, Nicole Kidman and Mel Gibson are actually from here. And, there's all those British, like most of the Bee Gees. Andy might have been born there. But, so, I don't know what to say. I mean, I keep hearing this nonsense, and I'm just like, look, here's the deal. Novak Djokovic, been anti-vax, never wanted to get the vaccine. You made him think there was an opportunity to come without getting the vaccine. You did that for a reason, and I believe the reason was, A, to make this stink. You wanted to make a public display of the fact that you're not going to allow anybody, even the number one tennis player in the world, into the Australian Open, into Australia, because of your rules, and your rules are more important than anything else. I think the whole thing was a ruse. I think you used him to show your power, to show the people, see, we've kept you locked down, we've kept you in, total totalitarian situation where you can't do anything, and we're not gonna, and because that's what the people are saying. If you listen to a lot of them, well, I'm tired of the elites having it one way. Yeah, nobody wants the elites to have it one way. But this whole thing, they could have just said, yeah, you can't come. Vaccinated or don't come. And he would have been like, okay, I'm not coming. They wanted this shit show. They wanted to make an example of him. They want to use him because they know Novak Djokovic chafes. A lot of people dislike him. They don't like his personality. Okay? I never really had a problem. I said before, my mother couldn't stand him. This was a Federer household. I did not want anybody to break Federer's record. I was rooting against everybody who would for that reason, even in the matches he wasn't playing in, because I wanted him. I felt like he was the GOAT. I wanted him to maintain that. But now at this point, I'm sorry, I have no time for any tennis players who aren't named Novak Djokovic, because this is absurd. It's disgusting. Why would you? 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 Why would you This has been a game. It's been a game so these people can show how strong they are on their vaccine mandates. That's all it's been. Because, like I said, all they had to do was say, well, either you get vaccinated or you can't come in the country. The end. That's not what happened. He was given an exemption to come to the Australian Open, and somebody gave him a visa, knowing he wasn't vaccinated. The man never said he was vaccinated. So if it was vaccination or get the fuck out, that was it. But they kept, giving him the idea that there might be a way, or you can do this, or you can do that. Just like this past week, it should have been like, you're deported, get the fuck out. It shouldn't be, oh, but maybe, and then go through this whole thing with the judges all looking like they're gonna let him in, and then, oh no, but we can still deport you. This is Friday. This is right now here. It's 8:30 in the morning on a Friday. That means it's, well, I don't know what freaking time it is in Australia. It's gonna be night. It's gonna be like later, way later, and the business day must be over. So tomorrow, I mean, then there's the weekend. I don't know how they do business in Australia. I don't know how the courts work in Australia. But if he's supposed to be deported, and the matches start on Monday, there's no way. The guy could have done this 2 days ago so that he would have had a chance to appeal, but he didn't. He did it on Friday. So Novak would not have a chance to appeal and not have a chance to play the Australian Open. But that's why it's all a game. It really doesn't have anything to do with protecting the Australian people from a disease. It doesn't have to do with playing fair. It has the whole markings of a propaganda stunt for their leader, who probably is up for election or something, to show the people, see the shit we did to you last 2 years? Okay, just so you know that it wasn't just you guys, and it's not because you're just regular people, and we're going to let the rich people I'm going to make sure this, number one, I'm going to make a big international incident out of this horrible, evil tennis player who wants to come to this country and give you all germs. I'm going to make an example of him, and I'm going to show you that I'm on your side, not his side. I'm not for the elites. I'm for you guys, and I protected you, and I'm going to keep protecting you, and that's what all this bullshit's about. Because, like I said, if they could have said, oh, we're going to deport you 2 days ago, yesterday, given his lawyers a chance. But this, like I said, this is the weekend now. And match is supposed to start on Monday. How's he going to appeal? I don't know if he's meant to play on Monday or Tuesday. But the draw would have to be, I mean, they did the draw. And he's supposed to be playing another Serbian. So, what do? Well, that's going to count as a default, and he's going to, if he doesn't play, if he's not allowed to be in the country, if he's been deported, or if he's stuck in detention, which I guess they're detaining him again, which is fucking ridiculous. If there wasn't so much politics involved, I would think it was the tennis associations who don't want him to be the number one tennis player in the world who were rigging this. But it's all about government. It's sad. This is going to be an asterisk Australian Open. If the other countries do this, the French, the British, whatever, then those two will be an asterisk Grand Slam tournament, and you just ruin tennis. Because how can you not have the number one player in the world play in your tournament and then act like it was valid? The champion is valid. I don't see a way they're going to let Novak play. At this point, there'll be a freaking civil war in Australia, because half the people do believe this bullshit, like, rules for thee, not for me, or whatever the fuck it is. But it's like, it's all political pantomime. It has nothing to do with protecting people. And it's really stupid, and it's really sad. And this whole narrative, that's a worldwide narrative, most people don't buy it. Most people aren't believing it. Some people put up with it because they want to keep their jobs. But most people don't believe any of this is valid, don't believe any of the things that have gone on. They know that they've contradicted themselves so many times. They know that they're now telling us the exact opposite of what they told us in the beginning in terms of masks and everything else. They know they were told if they got vaccinated, then they could go back to normal. They know that hasn't happened. They know all the things they were told ended up not being true. So anybody who's still 100% behind the whole thing, any normal person who's still gung-ho about The idea that we can stop the spread, the idea that the unvaccinated are responsible for spreading the germs all over the world. I mean, how many people work and live around completely vaccinated people, and they've all gotten COVID from a vaccinated person. Maybe as a vaccinated person, they pass it on to someone else. They work only with people who are vaccinated because of the rules at their work, and then the stupid virus spread amongst the workers. I mean, anybody who still believes this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated, I don't know what you're believing. Yeah, in the United States, apparently there's 30% of the people, 30-ish% of the people who aren't completely vaccinated. That's a lot of people. But you're still talking about us like we're the Loch Ness Monster or Sasquatch or something you've never seen. Just like they used to talk about Trump voters, like they've never really seen them. We're chupacabras. We live in the shadows. Um, I don't understand. I don't understand. Anybody, I hope that people understand, if they do choose to watch the Australian Open, that they're basically watching nothing. Because if Novak Djokovic is not allowed, and at this point, even if he did play, he hasn't been able to train right, he hasn't been able to eat right, he's been under complete stress. You can't go into a big tournament like that. But anyway, the point is, it's an asterisk year. And it might be for the next 3 years. It won't count. Whoever wins will win because Novak Djokovic wasn't there.